Hello, friends. I'm Kumkum Sharma from 𝐻𝐸𝐿, and on the behalf of entire 𝐻𝐸𝐿 team, I would like to welcome you all in live open session episode 38. So, quite some time I'm running this show, and we are getting good response. People are asking questions and resolving their problems. So, I think now there is no introduction for the format and agenda because it's pretty much clear. You have to ask question, and Saket will answer your questions. And how you can ask the question? It's very simple. If you're watching from YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, just add your question in the comment box. I'll add your question here and Saket will answer your questions. So, without wasting any more time, let's talk to Saket and understand from him how he wants to start the session. Thank you, Saket, for taking out time for the session again.
Okay, great guys. Good to back. I think it was a pretty long break because we run second and fourth session, and I think last week we had 5 Fridays, if I'm not wrong, and that's why it became a little longer a break.
Right.
So Debashish, we are live. Yeah, you probably there could be a delay a little bit from LinkedIn site, but you should be able to put your questions, and the session is live. So that's the question which we got here. So great. So here the agenda process, as we all know, is pretty simple. I know it's been more than a year now. We have been running these sessions, and many of the questions and discussions might be repetitive in nature. But what we believe is the people who are coming and asking for them, it's new. Yeah. So even if we end up answering the same question multiple times, but someone is getting it first time. So we continue doing it. And yeah, the market situation keeps changing and content keeps changing. The program keeps changing. So probably even the same question which was asked before may have a different answer now because the time has moved. So it's a opportunity to explore, not necessary to follow whatever we discuss here, and find out what kind of education, what kind of a certification program will be good for you. Okay, so in the meantime, so process is simple. You type your query in the chat box on a LinkedIn or on YouTube. It will reach us here. Yeah, that's something, a simple process of asking the question by putting it into the comment box. Now, by the time people are coming in, I have been answering this question mostly in all sessions, and I answer this question after the session also. Many times, people who have done Scrum Master class or they are working as a Scrum Master comes to me and ask what should they do in order to get a progress in their career. I am just looking for another certification for my career growth. Now, which certification you can suggest? I know I have answered this question multiple times and I keep answering it in the class, but I'm trying to answer it again today with the help of some approach. Yeah, that's something I would like to share. So it's like, in general, I would say when you are looking for a certification to take your career next, my recommendation would be that first clarify what kind of target role you are looking for, because randomly picking up something may not add a business or a direct value for you, but rather if you create a target role understanding in your mind, say I want to become an agile coach, I want to become a project manager, I want to become a delivery head, whatever target role you have, put that role. Maybe you have a two target roles, which is also perfect, but have something as a target role, and then look reverse rather than thinking of a certification and then hoping that it can bring the career growth in your career. So that's a general reminder. I think we have spoken about it few times before, but yeah, I just a general reminder. I do see there are two questions to start with, so let's get started. So I'm a technical manager with 10 plus years of experience. What certification will be good for me? Yeah. So you are a technical manager. Which role you are aspiring to get into? That's the first answer you probably need to find for yourself. Assuming you discover that I want to get into leadership and management side, which is a usual trend. Again, not all the people will go, but usually people, after many individuals after doing a technical leadership job, they tend to get into a generic project leadership, project management, delivery leadership roles. If that is your target direction, then you need to learn something which helps you in playing that role. So I have a role and I understand what are the characteristics, which are the skills which are needed for that role. and I need to learn those skills. Now, there are some certification programs which tend to give you those skills and some credibility around that. Yeah. So say if I want to get into a team level leadership role, and I understand in order to get to a team level leadership role, I need to have a good understanding of the team's process, like a Scrum, and I need to have a good facilitation skills, and I need to know how to coordinate, collaborate, and take the things forward. So looks like if I acquire these skills, I should have a more probability of getting into team leadership role. Now, is there a certification program which can help me in getting started with that? Certified Scrum Master is there. So that's a one possible alternative. If you see that, okay, my organization is not in a pure Scrum or Agile space, we are doing a lot of contracting and outsourced work. And for us, billing and other management aspects are very critical. And I want to get into generic project management role. And I understand in order to do that, I need to understand how the invoicing is done, how the costing is done, how the capacity planning is done, how the risk needs to be managed, etc., etc. So I understand my target direction. Now I look back and see which certification can help me in doing it. Probably a PMP is a good starting point. So in general, yeah, if you look for team leadership and people management roles, after playing 10 plus years of technical management role, you probably need to start with certified Scrum Master. And if you keep working in a complex project environment, then you may want to pick PMP as well. Now, what after that, you will know once you do these things. Yeah, because it's not necessarily a wise decision to make a plan for next 2 years now itself. Do one, you will get the clarity more. So CSM is a good starting point, I would say. If you have not done it already, probably you might have done it there. Okay. I'm a certified advanced Scrum Master. Okay. I would like to know what other certification shall I go for? Among safe POPM is a good option, or safe leading coach, etc. See, my personal opinion is the SAFE certification you need to pick based on the organizational role expectation from you. If you have done, say, advanced Scrum Master program from Scaled Agile, I understand you have a good understanding of Scaled Agile principles, Scaled Agile patterns, and overall PI planning meeting, the role of a Scrum Master in a PI planning meeting, and facilitating various iteration level events, and also supporting release train engineer at a program level events. So these are the things which are expected to be mastered when you do a Scaled Agile Advanced Scrum Master program. Yeah, that's expectation. Now, if you want to do, say, a leading safe program, there will be a good amount of overlap. The leading safe program will also talk about the 10 principles again. The leading safe program will also talk about a PI planning again. But leading safe program will talk about generically. Yeah, it will not go specifically into a Scrum Master role. So in my view, you have learned a good amount of Scaled Agile by doing Scaled Agile Advanced Scrum Master. So I don't see any particular need of doing any role-specific Scaled Agile certification program until unless you decide to get into training, coaching, mentoring in Scaled Agile. Now, for that, the Scaled Agile has a special certification, which is called Implementing Safe with the Safe Program Consultant as a certificate. But that you do when you decide to get into the safe training, coaching, and consulting field. It requires a little bit more amount of money investment. The process is pretty much safe like your advanced Scrum Master, but it also has a higher renewal fee. So it's a kind of a commitment, a kind of a business model you want to get into. And you need to develop your profile so that you start getting opportunity for a program level consultant. So that's what I can probably capture your question if it relates to safe specific area itself. Yeah. Okay, so if any of you, I answered 2 questions. If any of you have a follow-up query, please feel free to drop a note in your chat box, same place where you have dropped this particular question. Yeah. Good. Hi, Ashish. So a generic thing which we spoke about. Yeah, I just take a pause in case someone has a question. Please drop it in the chat area. In the meantime, I may share something about the Okay, a lot of questions are coming here. Let's see first them. So I'm planning to pursue ME in project management, along with what kind of certification should I go for? What is the best role I can search in the internship to lead maximum practical things related to the PM? Okay, yeah. So what I can say is that when you are doing project management study, yeah, that's something you are looking for. So what kind of internship role you can pick up? Look for project coordination roles if you can get it. In large complex projects, people do ask for the support staff who can facilitate compilation of report and presenting the data. It requires good amount of data and coordination skills. So you can look for the certification called CAPM, and you can look for internship role, which is more about project coordination. Why CAPM? Why not PMP? Because from PMI, PMP requires experience in project management rather than only knowledge, where CAPM, the way they have positioned it, is something which helps you to just get started with the project management. Along with CAPM, I would also recommend you doing CSM, Certified Scrum Master from Scrum Alliance, though it is not purely a project management. It's a new way of developing products in a way, not much new, it's 20-year-old though, but it's a kind of something different. So probably you want to see a flavor of management. I'm just using a management word with the help of Scrum, which will be done with the help of Certified Scrum Master program. And then you may learn a flavor of overall project management with the help of CAPM certification. Both the certifications are pretty simple to get it done. And then you should try to get an internship for the project coordination and facilitation role. Yeah. Okay. Okay, looks like there was a lag in between, so a lot of things are coming together. So I go one by one, and we see it here. Any good recommendation with respect to the book? So on project management, that's what I'm hearing. So project management and general management books are pretty much common. Project management, product management books. So again, my recommendation is that we need to find out what are the various dimensions of project management or a product management. One of the dimension could be stakeholder management or stakeholder interaction. Another dimension could be team management, team interaction. There could be scheduling, there could be risk management. So there are multiple dimensions. Now, that's the advantage of PMP, that it gives a consolidated view of everything at a sufficient depth level. But if you want to learn from a book, I would say that you go topic wise book. So find a book for each area. So generically, process related things, quality related books, most of the books are relevant for project management. Yeah. So whatever you read, directly, indirectly, it helps you in managing your stakeholders, and that's what you can pick up. So you need to like make a little boundary. What is my project management space and which area I want to focus on, and pick the book accordingly. Maybe we can have a similar, more conversation in the same chat box. It's a textual conversation also possible. So you let me know a little bit specific details. Probably after the session, I also put some recommendation for the books depending upon the area which you put in. Okay, so I have a 4-year experience as a Scrum Master. Shall I do a PMP or continue as a Scrum Master? Why can't you do both? Yeah. So it's like that when you are continuing as a Scrum Master, PMP is not a trouble for you. PMP is definitely a supporting material for you. So you can definitely continue doing your Scrum role and also extend your knowledge and work environment in the project management space. So that's not something contradictory to each other. You can definitely go about that. So I see a question coming, is PMP or PMI ACP? I have been promoting PMP over PMI ACP because I believe PMP contains good amount of content which is also covered in PMI ACP at a level. And since the questionnaire has already done certified Scrum Master and certified Scrum Product Owner, you won't find much new in a PMI ACP, but you will find significantly new content when you go for PMP certification. So for you, I would recommend a PMP certification. For Scrum, I see a books thing is coming in. So Scrum, the good book is Essential Scrum. That's something I can directly recommend because Scrum is a specific topic. It's a good book to start with. Yeah. Okay, so Mohsin, you can definitely start with the PMP program. We have our website 𝐻𝐸𝐿@bridge.com. There you can find our PMP program, and we have various formats. One of the program is starting on 20th August. Probably you want to check it out. Just visit 𝐻𝐸𝐿@bridge.com, and you should be able to find it. So I understand that there's a follow-up question, some like Scrum Master with project management. So I think you can, okay, they are unrelated questions. Different people asking this question. Okay, let me read it then. So I would like to continue as a Scrum Master, but I fear many companies are not accepting full-time Scrum Master role. What good options I can plan with? So what type of company you are working in? If you're working in a service organization, then project management is a good choice. You work and help the organization to work on various projects. Doing PMP certification and creating your career in a project management along with Scrum way of working is a good option. If you are working in a product organization, then you probably need to see which part of the product you want to work on. Maybe a technology, or maybe a domain, or maybe a product ownership. So you may want to find out the area inside your domain space which you can invest in. Many times people start assisting the product owner because towards the business analysis side as well. So that could be another area. The third possible option could be that you start facilitating multiple Scrum team. You remain pure Scrum Master, but you might have be supporting more than one team, and that can also lead you to do a agile coaching role. So depending upon what opportunity you get, you need to pick up the role, because many times we cannot think about a future role in isolation. You have a opportunity window in your organization, you have some skills which are matching to that opportunity window, and then you have a career possibility in that particular window. Those two three things come together and give you an option. So look at these things, and that can help you in finding out the right thing. Okay, so there is a confusion between DASSM and Scaled Agile Framework. Any other advanced certification for Scrum Master with 10 plus experience? I have done PMP, I have done PSM, that's it. So see, Disciplined Agile Scrum Master is a little mixture of Agile and project management. Yeah, it is like a hybrid approach. Whereas a Scaled Agile Framework is a particular way of doing scaling in Agile. So they hardly overlap. That's what I can say. So DASSM content and SAFe content will hardly overlap. So you need to see them differently. Yeah, that's a thing. So you may end up doing both, or you may end up doing only SAFe Agilist program, Scaled Agile, the most popular program called Leading SAFe, which comes with a certification, SAFe Agilist. In general, from a market demand perspective, I do recommend you doing SAFe Agilist, because the probability of your target employer looking for SAFe skills is significantly higher than probability of your target employer looking for disciplined agile skills, until unless you have a target employer in mind who is looking for disciplined agile skills. So you need to see what is the probability of me getting selected, or me getting interviewed, or me getting interested candidate based on what kind of skills. So I do recommend focusing on Scaled Agile Framework. Now, what kind of advanced certification? Like the Scrum Alliance also has all the advanced certification like Advanced Scrum Master, etc., etc. You can do it, but they are Scrum side certifications only. The Scaled Agile has their Scaled side certifications only. In general, my recommendation is, if you're a delivery oriented person, not necessarily focusing on a particular way of doing Agile, then better you have popular certificates from various certification bodies, which helps you in picking up the most demanding skills, because that's why those certifications are popular. So like I can say, the CSM certification from Scrum Alliance is the most popular. The Leading SAFe certificate from Scaled Agile is the most popular. The PMP certification from PMI is the most popular. Put all other certifications aside, PMP is the winner from PMI. From IC Agile, which is a coaching facilitation agile education body, the ICP ACC, which is an agile coach certification, is the most popular. So these are like the trending things. So probably if you don't want to specialize in a one area and want to remain delivery guy, you want to focus on these possible alternatives. The Kanban University also runs their certification program, and we have a KNP one, which is pretty much the most popular program when it comes to Kanban. So pick up other skills if you are a hybrid professional. But if you have done PMP, you already know hybrid project management sufficiently, which will be again taught in a DASSM. Okay, so we have a question where I can find a live experience regarding Scrum or a Scrum Master other than getting in a project experience for moving into Scrum Master role and for interviews. So we have part of this solution. We call it Industry Enabled Scrum Master Program, where we add on the skills which are usually asked in the Scrum Master interviews or Scrum Master environment over your theoretical skills which you acquire by doing a certification program like CSM, PSM, or anything. Yeah. So knowing about Scrum by way of doing Scrum Master program is a good starting point. Knowing a little bit more what is happening in the industry is a good step. And then working to find out the breakthrough opportunity where you start facilitating and coordinating. If you do enough amount of education and keep trying to different size of organization, it may be a matter of time, but you will get an opportunity to try out to start with the Scrum Master role. So look for those organizations who are willing to experiment with those with individuals who are not yet experienced in Scrum, but they may want to give a leadership role. The another recommendation is that Scrum Master is a role, but it requires some set of competencies like facilitation, people management, conflict management, resolving issues, coordinating, ensuring the communications, and all those things. If you demonstrate that you have those competencies by way of showing good conflict management skills, by way of demonstrating good communication skills of email as well as verbal, you demonstrate how do you probably understand and represent Scrum to resolve team related issues, then organization or companies will be willing to hire you. So I can only work on myself. That's the only area I have with me. So I probably educate myself. I probably look at those skills which can make my probability of getting selected more, and then keep trying. So from our side, we have an like industry enabled Scrum Master program, which you can find on our website, which gives you little push towards that direction. Okay, so I'm certified in Safe POPM. Do you think this adds value as a holistic product management, as I have been managing products in the healthcare space? What I feel about POPM certificate, even CSPO certificate, these certificates educate you how to do product management or product related work in a given framework. Yeah, like how do you do product management in Scrum, how do you product management in Scaled Agile, that much you run and you learn what is Scaled Agile. Now what other things you should have in order to do a product management, those things possibly are not experienced there. They are pretty much framework oriented. You end up learning backlog, prioritization, sprints, and all those stories and format, and etc. etc. Whereas a practicing product management, you may need to add other educations also, which are non-framework related educations, like how to conduct interview, what kind of question you should ask, what kind of research should you do, where you can find secondary data, where you can find primary data, how can you do competitor analysis, how can you use your Google to do the product and requirement analysis, etc. etc. So that part will remain missing from most of these framework oriented programs. So it helps you, provided you already know your job decently, then you know how to do my job in a framework. That's something you learn by doing safe POPM. That's what my interpretation of certification is. Okay, so I have done Scrum Master certification, planning to do safe advanced Scrum Master. Would it be a good to go as my organizations are only following plain agile? So Say if your organization is only following Agile and Scrum and you want to do SAFe certification just to learn Scaled Agile framework, then probably you should do Leading SAFe program, which is a more elaborated program. But if you are pretty much sure that I want to stick to a Scrum Master role, and I know my Scrum Master role pretty well, I just want to understand how Scrum Master role changes in SAFe, then going for SAFe Advanced Scrum Master is a good idea. So I summarize again. If you're very clear that you want to keep playing the Scrum Master role even in the SAFe context, then going for SAFe Advanced Scrum Master might be a good idea. Yeah, you can go ahead with that. Now, will you be able to appreciate all the content without having any exposure of learning SAFe? Probably, yes, provided you do some homework. Yeah, you probably need to watch some videos before you go to the class so that you have your background covered. So that's something you can do. Again, you are making yourself future ready. This is very clear because those skills, that framework will not be used in your plain agile. So it's not like that I do something and I will use here. Maybe something anyway, Scrum meeting is anyway you can use without SAFe, with SAFe also. But good amount of content when you learn SAFe is specific to Scaled Agile framework, which I would say 60 to 70% content will only be well used when you do SAFe implementation. Okay, so after Scrum Master for 4 years, which role should I target? Project manager or agile coach? Should I plan for a career growth? So I would say what makes you happy. If you are delivery guy, you feel that releasing and making customer releases, customer values is something make me happy. Resolving impediments, issues is something I enjoy doing, and I can handle more complex projects now. I can work in a more complex delivery now, then I think the project management and Scrum Master with the bigger teams and multiple teams is a good way forward. Yeah, because you need to see your existing experience and the opportunity. But if you see, I am more into consulting space. I enjoy educating and mentoring people. I don't like getting into issues and resolving customer queries and all, but I enjoy setting up processes and telling people what kind of processes and doing root cause analysis and doing assessments and those various matrices. I like those things, and interpreting various matrices and finding out what is working, what is not working, etc. Then probably you want to go into agile coaching role. Yeah, so see your interest area and then you build your career towards that. Okay. Okay, do we offer mentorship? Yeah, yes, we do have a program. I probably, not myself, but we have other mentors who offer. So we work with some of the mentors who can offer you a mentorship. So you drop an email, we can find out if you have a specific need. And for your Scrum book, I would say that start with Essential Scrum. If you type on Google, you will find that detail. Essential Scrum is a good book to start with. General project management, product management, and the research oriented book. The product development flow is also a good book. That's a little hybrid. It covers project as well as product areas, but the product development flow may be another good book you can start with. If you are looking for coaching space, Coaching Agile Team is also a good book. So again, there is no one book which can take care of everything. There are areas which can we discuss. If you drop a message here later, we will talk. But these are the 3 books to start with as of now. And PMP certification helps you to get a lot of ideas there. Okay, so last month I have completed Certified Scrum Master and I am attending interviews, but I am failing. Yeah, definitely we can help. And simple thing is you need to find out what is not working. Yeah. So how do you find out? Say, when you went for an interview, what kind of questions or what kind of feedback you got? If you have received 1 or 2 like fail results and you missed asking for a feedback, next time onwards do ask for a feedback. As of now, those opportunities are lost, and probably you can connect with those people who were interacting with you and ask that, can I get a feedback? I understand I am not selected, but can I get a feedback? So see that the person who is interviewing you, it's in their intention as well as interest also to select you, because their job will also get done. Why should they reject you? Yeah. Their primary purpose usually, in most of the generic cases, is that I want to reduce my time to talk to someone else. If I find the right person, I want to hire that person. That's my intention. But if I am getting interviewed and I am not becoming that right person, so there is a mismatch. Yeah. So probably I need to know what is the mismatch. Now, I can do two things by knowing the mismatch. First, I can start targeting the right places. If I'm going for something which is not matching with my background, with my education, so I probably decide either to change my education, my skills, or change my target segment. So it could be both. If I am not getting selected in an interview, probably I'm not applying for a right job, yeah, based on my competency and knowledge, or I am not yet ready for proving myself that I am ready for this job. And that's another possibility. So if we take a second case, so you can only know it by way of collecting feedback. That's a simple thing. Now, if you are not yet ready with your Scrum skills, assuming, yeah, then what we have is we have around 70 plus videos where we are discussing various Scrum scenarios and helping you. Again, they are helping you. They are not ready-made answers. They help you in probably thinking how to find out and resolve issues when you are getting asked in the Scrum context. So you please watch our Scrum Master interview series. We also do a weekly clubhouse sessions where you can come up with your questions and discuss with them, discuss those scenarios. Yeah, so those scenarios also you can explore together. Most of these videos are scenario oriented, and you can also take a feedback. So probably you can work with some friend where you answer them, yeah, rather than you only ask for answers. You basically should answer in front of some mentor and see what is working and what is not working. Probably that person can give you a feedback about it. So once I know my area, once I know my weakness, then probably I can make a plan to fix that weakness. So that's something is there. Now, if you see that I have never done Scrum Master job and I'm trying to get into a Scrum Master job and I'm trying to prove that I am good here, but I am unable to prove that, then you have a first work done. You know what is the gap. So probably you need to understand how do I get into the Scrum Master mindset and what are the 3, 4, 5 areas which are blocking me. I try to overcome that by way of watching videos, discussing with friends, participating in various conversation, and that can help you in taking it forward. Learning books is also a good idea. And from a certification perspective, I think you have done Scrum Master certification, which is good enough to give you the call for a Scrum Master job. But after that, you need to prove your competency. If you see that a lot of terms were spoken and you were sometimes finding even difficult to understand the question itself, then we have this bridge program, which we call it Industry Enabled Scrum Master program. You can join that, where we try to give you some ideas, frameworks, which are usually used. We also support Jira learning in that, which are usually used to learn how the real Scrum Master jobs are usually done. Again, that each organization will have a unique way of working, but we try to give you a platform where you can learn a Scrum Master typical profile. So videos, books. If you need more assistance, IESM, Industry Enabled Scrum Master Program, join the clubhouse. That's what I can think of as of now. Which is the best certification for our PO? So I would say there are not, like, I try to repeat my answer before, which I gave. For product ownership or product management, these are framework certificate. I personally believe they teach you how to do a product ownership in a given framework, rather than they teach you what is product management or what is product ownership in the whole space. So if it's a 2 days class, probably 50% of the time will be around framework, and maybe 50% of the time little bit explaining you what is the product management is all about. But the organization or certifications are designed in such a way, so they expect people already know what they are doing in a product management thing. So that's a thing. Now, which PO class you should take, depending upon in which framework you are working. If you are working in a Scrum framework, go for CSPO class. If you are working in a SAFe framework, go for SAFe POPM class. Yeah, that's something I can probably suggest here. Okay, so I think we covered most of it as of now. So great. So if you have any, like, I just do a quick reset. What we are doing here, we are just sharing some ideas and exchanging views. And if you have something which is related to our offerings, or you believe my advice or my opinion might be helpful, you can put that query in the chat box, and I will share my opinion or an advice around that. Yeah. So that's something we do. Process is simple. You type your queries wherever you are watching us, means LinkedIn or YouTube. These are the two places as of now we are live. So one question, yeah, where is Agile release train covered in length? The basic thing is you watch our 7 essential videos to start with. Yeah. So that is the first place to learn what is Agile release train. Yeah. So please go through that. You just search on YouTube what is like safe essential safe terms, and you will probably get that link. I'm trying to share it here if that can help you there. Okay, so it's a LinkedIn, so it will take a path forward for me. So I can't share it because it's difficult. But yeah, that's a YouTube thing. Now, any of the safe certificate you go, you end up learning about Agile release train. I don't think any safe certification can skip explaining you about Agile release train. What is Agile release train? It's a simple collection of multiple Agile teams, and it has some roles which are at a group level, if I say it, or train level. So it's a metaphoric way. You can see like a metro train. Yeah, metro train has a multiple cars, bogies. So each bogie is like a team. Yeah, and then these all cars coming together, 7, 8, 5, and they are running toward a direction that becomes a kind of metaphorically an Agile release train. So there are groups, yeah, who are coming together, and then they take it forward. Now there could be little complications. How do you create these teams? Are they independent to each other? How they coordinate and plan with each other? So those are the things which get covered in a safe classes. Preferably the leading safe class also covers that well. But yeah, most of the safe classes talks about Agile release train. But good thing would be that you can check on our YouTube channel. We have 7 essential safe videos. They will give you good starting idea. Ramya, you can get a schedule, price, and all those details by visiting 𝐎𝐩𝐞𝐧. Just see industry enabled Scrum Master. We call it IESM. So you can probably see that. And other than program, you just go to YouTube, our YouTube channel, if you are already familiar with, and look for Scrum Master interview series playlist that can help you. I think Kumkum already shared the link for IESM, and then you can also do a Scrum Master interview series exploration. If you have specific question, we can do a similar kind of video like we have done in our Scrum Master interview series with you. Yeah, and that's another possibility. It's a pretty, I think we are heading for a long weekend. Still, it's nice to see that these many questions came. I was little worried that today we may not have much interaction because people might be already in a holiday mood. But I do appreciate you guys' commitment for your career planning. Yeah.
Yeah, very committed people, very professional. They want to end their Friday with the lots of learning and new ideas.
Yeah, yeah, great. Yes. So in India, we have a holiday on Monday. Yeah, that's what it is. So which makes it a little long. Okay, so I pause in case someone has a query. Please drop it out. We have another 15 minutes around to take care of your questions, if any. Okay, so in the meantime, I do some, I would say we call it spotlight products. Yeah. So when I get an opportunity, we can do a promo of a particular product. Yeah, that's something, a possible thing. We can focus on one product and explain you about it. Whoever want to listen probably can do that. So today, I'm focusing on a new program which we are starting from this month end, which we call it IC Agile Coaching Agile Transition, which is called CAT. It's not new for an industry, but it's new for us because we are launching it first time. And this particular program is meant for individuals who are targeting learning and certification towards enterprise coaching space. So this particular program help you in creating transformation roadmap, helps you in understanding how to do a team assessment or organization assessment, how to identify the boundaries and system entries, and finally learning various possible models which can help us in designing your own transformation. So that's something we can do. And after learning various models and other things, we also spend time to create your own case study for transformation. And once that is done, then we also help you in doing some other learning like large scale facilitation and communication planning and stakeholder planning. So that's something you can focus on. Yeah. Okay, so we go one by one. We got two questions. So I'm looking for earning PDUs and SCU to renew my PM IST and CSP certification. Would you talk about earning education unit from 𝐎𝐻𝐻? So it's very, very simple. Yeah, that's the thing. From Scrum Alliance, it's ultra simple. You just need to go and tell what you have studied. So what possibly you can do? Yeah, since I see that you have done another good amount of other certification, probably you don't want to do another certificate. Any video you watch, any education you attend, you can declare and say that I have earned this particular education. So say you talk about a particular webinar, you can claim PDU or SU for it. You can read a book and say that I read a book A, I spent 6 hours talking about it, I little bit give a description. That also can help you in earning SUs. SUs is super simple nowadays. They don't even ask you explain what you have learned. Earlier they used to ask you, you just need to say that I have read it. That's it from SU. That much is good enough. For PDUs, there are a little bit detailed, but we have a blog. If you search how to earn PDUs free or something, you will find our playlist and 𝐎𝐻𝐻 guideline, our YouTube channel. You watch a lot of videos that can help you in getting that. Yeah. So this link will not go to LinkedIn. Yeah, we need to post it there. Yeah.
I'll post there also.
Okay, so that's the thing. Now, what is technical debt? So in the agile way, we want to communicate few things with the help of metaphors. It's a extreme programming way of communicating. So metaphor is something like, it is not the real thing, but it helps you in communicating with individuals who may not understand technology and other language. So technical debt is a metaphor to explain the imperfect code and design we have in our system. So you can say that my system is running, but it is on this much of debt, yeah, which means there are things which needs to be improved at some point in time, else this system efficiency will start degrading. Now, how to communicate that to a business stakeholder? Because business stakeholders are seeing this is working. So we usually say, yeah, this is working, but we have a technical debt to take care of. We need to repay it. Repay it means we need to reduce that imperfection, else it will grow. Like your debt has an interest. Similarly, the technical debt also keep accumulating because it has an interest. In an imperfect design, you keep adding things and you keep adding things and you keep growing the imperfection. So in a way, it's a cleanup process. It's a need for a cleanup, and you are quantifying that need with the help of technical debt. Yeah. So imperfect code design in your code in your product is called as a technical debt. So sometimes it's good to quantify it, and you need to have a mechanism in place, say the technical work in place or improvement ideas in place, so that you can repay them continuously. Some amount of technical debt is natural because you don't know, you're creating the architecture in the emerging way, so things will evolve as you go along. Okay. So is it safe, worth it? I would say that if your target organizations are working in Scaled Agile framework, then you should do it. And from my observation, good, big, large organizations like financial institutions, healthcare institutions are using SAFe. So you need to see which company I work in or which are the other companies I probably want to work in. And if they are using SAFe, it means I need to do something about it. Okay, so this is an interesting question. I have been a CSP for more than 5 years. I want to take it to the next level. What are the growth path and how 𝐻𝐸𝐿 can help me in the course of that? So my recommendation for you is that you should target acquiring certified team coach. Yeah. So after becoming certified Scrum professional, that is a good place to target. Now, certified team coach requires you having coaching knowledge and experience. Yeah. It's a application process based thing where you need to demonstrate where you need to elaborate your experience, and they have a specific question where you need to give a descriptive answers, and those descriptive answers get evaluated, and based on that application answers you get certified. Sometimes they can also call you for interview and discussion. That's the process. So now, in order to achieve that process, you need to have a fair understanding of coaching. And then you should look at the application, which you can go and find out at Scrum Alliance, and that's a path forward. Now, how 𝐻𝐸𝐿 can help you? In order to become a good team coach candidate, you probably want to achieve a coaching certification from a body like International Coach Federation. We can help you in doing your ICF ACC certification, where we facilitate your overall coaching journey. Once you have a decent and good understanding of coaching journey, we can also help you in getting into CTC mentoring, where we have our enterprise coach who is willing to do it, provided you are done with some amount of coaching education. Because what happens is we did a mentoring to some of the CTC aspiring people, but since the gap was too much, they were lacking the coaching skill and coaching knowledge itself, then it was becoming difficult for a mentor also to take it forward. So now one of the recommendation we have for before you get into our mentoring program is finishing ICF ACC. I think it will take another 6 months to 1 year time, where you can focus on both and you can target to achieve your certified team coach. So connect with us for ICF ACC as well as once it is done for team coaching facilitation. So we have a question. Does the story point have any standard rule of thumb while breaking it down further? For an example, if I say a user story takes 3 points, will it be that is like 17 to 24 hours? Can I conclude? So I spent a good time explaining this. We have 4 videos. So if you go to YouTube and say agile estimation or story point 𝐻𝐸𝐿, you will find the 4 videos. So I recommend you to check that out. That's the thing. Now we need to understand the story point estimation is expected to be done at a little far from development. Now, I know many people are doing story point estimation just in the sprint planning meeting, and tomorrow onward they will start doing work. So that is not the intended use. It was like maybe 1 month, 1.5 month, or maybe 2 months ahead in time. Before you really work on it, you are doing a story point estimation to get a high level estimate. That's the intent, high level estimate. And that's why it's difficult to find out how many hours it will take, because we don't know exactly what would be the exact code quality who will actually work on it after 1.5 months. So whenever you learn about theory of story points, they are basically assuming that you are doing a little bit advanced in time. And if that theory is not matching with your reality, then you will have a lot of confusions around it. That's the one thing. Now, what is the overall intent of doing story pointing? We do want to find out how big the work is, and the amount of time it will take is a function of that work. That's perfectly, there should be some range which can be concluded. Now, it will have a 30 to 40% error, because even story point is done with the help of judgment. The second is the real working hour is a function of who really works on it. Yeah, and that point in time, what are the reusable components available, in which sequence it is coming. Yeah, if it is coming after a story which took care, or like which has developed good amount of code which can be reused here, it will take less time. If it is coming as a first one where you need to do a lot of library work as well, it will take more time. So exact time will be done, calculated while or estimated when you are doing your iteration planning meeting, a good amount of estimate. But when I'm doing story pointing, I might be 30% wrong. When I'm doing iteration planning, I might be 10% wrong. Estimation is always estimate. What really it takes, it takes. Yeah, that's something will come in. Yes, you can have some amount of range, but range is just for a 30 to 40% error with you can't just say that, okay, it will take this much for sure. But yes, some amount of range is useful. So I recommend checking those 4 story point videos, which can probably help you in finding my opinion about it. Again, people have different opinions about story points. I'm not saying whatever I'm saying is perfectly universally acceptable. There are different uses, differently people deal story points. Okay, so in the meantime, we have final few minutes. So since in the response of previous question, I spoke about certified team coach, I think I take an opportunity to explain a little bit more about certified team coach to individuals who might be hearing it first time. So if you are working as a Scrum Master and you tend to work in a Scrum environment, a product oriented environment, and you want to grow yourself more in a coaching space or a mentoring space rather than in a delivery space, that's the usual incline you have, and you want to work in the Scrum kind of setup more rather than hybrid and other things, that's your target choice options, then you may want to take your Scrum education journey forward by way of doing advanced Scrum Master, which is again like attending the class and demonstrating a 1 year experience in Scrum that will give you advanced Scrum Master. And after doing that, you may want to do CSP/SM, where you also need to attend a class, learn something, and also demonstrate 2 years of experience. It's like not, you don't have to wait for 2 years. If you have been working in Scrum from last 2 years, you can do CSM, ACSM, and CSPSM within a week. That's a possibility. But yeah, overall, you need to have these experiences. That's the thing. So if you are not in a hurry, you probably want to give a time also. The ideal design was like that only. Yeah. So you go for CSM, then you take it ACSM. After a year, you do CSPSM. Now, these three are straightforward. You can just get it easily. But afterwards, the thing starts stopping. Yeah, that's something becoming a problematic, where there are more guide level certificates. So CTC is a guide level certificate. It is not directly you attend a class or you show your demonstration of experience, you get it. There in a CTC space, you need to fill up an application which will have a lot of subjective questions. And based on your evaluation of experience, you may get a feedback or you get pass it. Even if you get a feedback, you can work on a feedback and apply again. So there is no fail. Yeah, you can keep trying till the time you get it. And people who keep trying it 2-3 times, they get it. Yeah, that's the also a straightforward thing. It's all about your like commitment to the education and in the Scrum space. So that's something you can focus on. Yeah. Okay, so whenever I'm attending interview for Scrum Master role, they are asking, did you play project manager role? So that could be a possibility if you target for service organizations. In many service organizations, they may have, you might be a project manager today, you might be a Scrum Master tomorrow, you might be a something else day after. They need a leadership role, and they want a leader who can play any environment role. So that could be a probable reason. So if you are finding that, you probably need to, if you, and that's the type of company you see more, then probably you need to orient yourself for project management as well, because the service organization will have that expectation. Okay, so just another question. How do I explain my product owner not to accept new requirement in the middle of the Scrum? Yeah, so see, idea here is we need to see consequences of it. Yeah. So what is a consequence when these things are happening? Because many times we tell people don't do this, then it may not be acceptable. We need to show the cost of doing it. So if your product owner is accepting the requirement in the mid of the sprint and making your team also work on that, we need to understand what are the reasons for the product owner for doing it. That's the one thing. Is it happening because of poor refinement and prioritization done before, or is it happening which are the situations which are beyond the control of anyone? It can't be planned. So we need to understand that. And based on that, what kind of a rework and problem these things are creating for us. So we need to look at, empathize with the product owner, empathize with the stakeholder, and empathize with the developers also, and see how this whole thing is impacted. Now, depending upon the impact and empathy, we need to find the solution. If you see that these things are expected to come, we can't stop them, this is how it is, then probably you need to think of reducing your sprint cycle or maybe move to a Kanban rather than doing something else. Or if you see that it is a purely a weakness in our backlog refinement and an early process, then probably we need to work on that area. So have a fair, open communication talking about the consequences of doing something which we are doing right now. So do we have any dedicated videos on agile matrices explaining practically how one can do the own apart from automatically rally their own? So as of now, we are having some matrices which are more Jira oriented rather than manual oriented. we'll consider that adding into the space where we can get some more matrix related videos. Great. So this is what the whole thing. I see some link coming in. I'm not sure what is the intent behind this link. I don't know. So I don't know if it is a question there. I can't catch
No,
that.
this is our link only.
Okay,
So
okay,
I
okay.
think by
Maybe.
mistake I
Yeah,
was sharing
yeah,
with
no.
someone and
Okay, okay. No problem. Yeah. So, what is the elaboration between estimation and capacity calculation approach different in Scrum versus SAFe? So, actually, you can use SAFe Scrum approaches in SAFe. SAFe has no specific recommendation for your capacity calculation and estimation. SAFe is telling at a story level, you should do story point estimation the way you do in your Scrum word. That's what it is. And similarly, you probably can use your velocity if you have it, yeah, or you can do your capacity planning. Capacity is capacity irrespective of framework, where you are adding how many productive hours we have. You can use the capacity or you can use your previous velocity to plan your long-term work. So there is a more or less similarity. There is a one tricky difference which you may want to explore. The understanding of what is one, what is two, what is five should be at a group level, at an agile release train level, rather than the each team has a different understanding of what is one, what is two, and what is five or what is eight. So that much, some amount of normalization is needed, because the one big work may get divided into two teams, and if they are not estimating it in with the same mindset, that can create a lot of confusion. So that's the only little difference one can say it has. But overall, doing as an activity, it is still team oriented job. The team has to do it, they need to understand it. No one can tell them what to do, what not to do. They are the one who are making the judgment. Product owner should answer it, and they can revisit whenever they feel there has to be revisiting, and they should be focusing on relative ranking only rather than ranking on the hours or something. That's what the estimation part of it is. Capacity planning you may stop using when you have a velocity ideas, and so that's something works more or less. The SAFe recommends that you should keep some capacity guard band. That's a recommendation, but you can definitely use in a Scrum also, so that you don't overload your people. So that's a recommendation from SAFe. Scrum also recommends in a way that you should not be overloading. People should decide how much load they want to take it. So that's what it is, more or less. Yeah. Great. So here we are. I think we are concluding our session time now. Please stay connected, and we can probably interact more on our Clubhouse sessions. If you are already on a Clubhouse, you can search 𝐻𝐸𝐿 or you can search Saket Bansal, and you can follow us, which will give you the notification whenever we host a meeting. Usually we host Wednesday for Scrum. Yeah, this week was little exception, but next week onward it will be resumed, where we can have a more bi-directional interaction, because in a Clubhouse you can speak as well. Here you can only type. Yeah, that's a thing. So that's another place to connect with us. And ongoing basis, the YouTube comment or Instagram comments are anyway is a good place to ask your specific queries. So thank you, everyone. I think, yeah, Kumkum, anything?
yeah, thank you very much, guys, for adding such a wonderful questions in helping us and helping other professionals as well. And yeah, it's time to say bye to you, and we'll be back again on the fourth Friday of August, which is, let me just quickly check. Yeah, 26th of August. We'll be back on 26th of August, same time, 7 p.m. IST. Take care of yourself and bye for now.